Mikel Arteta's got some decisions coming up that he just has to get right. In this video, we're going to pinpoint 2 decisions in particular that I'm looking at and saying, if you don't get this right, this could affect us massively, not only now, but going forward as well. We're also going to be speaking about the Monaco game, amongst other things as well. Before we get into it though, I just want to ask you a very quick favour. If you could, please, just hit like on this video. So, like I always do in these kind of breakdown videos, before I get into it, I just want to ask you one quick question. What is your score prediction for the Arsenal vs Monaco game? Recently, there's been quite a few people who have been able to guess the correct scoreline. And as always, if you do get it right in the breakdown video, I will flash it up and shout you out on screen just so everyone can see how good your football knowledge is. So quickly, very quick, just let me know what is your score prediction for the Arsenal vs Monaco game. Look, the first decision that Mikel Arteta has to get right is such a simple one. It's very, very easy. It is just the decision of not making Arsenal play an extra 2 games. Just do what it takes in these Champions League remaining fixtures to make Arsenal not play those extra 2 games. We don't need those extra 2 games. Like, the way we're playing at the minute, it's very hot and cold. It's hard to judge what type of Arsenal you're going to get. Like, we should be good enough to beat these teams that we're dropping points to, but there's something not quite right. Something is happening, or there's decisions being made where it's just like, what is happening? Why are we unable to gather this momentum that we did see for much of last season? Why are we not able to grind out these results? So it's on Mikel Arteta, first and foremost, to do something in these remaining Champions League games to make sure you automatically qualify. We do not need those extra 2 games. We've seen, how many times have we played recently? It's Monday, Wednesday, it's the weekend and then Wednesday, weekend and then Wednesday. For the last however long, these players are going to need a break at some point. These players are starting to break down already, as we're seeing with some of these players getting injured. And when we get players with injury, it affects the squad. It's so clear to see. We saw it in the last game. We've seen it in previous weeks and months. We don't need the extra games. So the very first decision Mikel Arteta needs to get right is just keep winning in the Champions League. You're playing Monaco. That is your toughest fixture out of these remaining 3 games. Like, if we can get through this Monaco game with a win, I'm looking at the next 2. And although it won't be super easy, I'm looking at it and saying those should be 6 points. With Arsenal, that's difficult to judge, but it should be 6 points. Monaco are a decent enough team. They're 3rd in the French league. They've got some decent players like Golovin and Minamino, not world beaters, players who are experienced, players who have been around the block, players who, in all seriousness, are not good enough to get in Arsenal's team. And football isn't always like that because you've got better players, you win the game. But Arsenal should be going there and put we should be beating this team. It's obviously at home. They're 3rd in the French league. They're the same amount of points in the Champions League group standings as Arsenal, so they are a decent enough team. That the next 2 teams we've got are Girona and Dynamo Zagreb. Again, 2 teams that you should be looking at and saying let's win. So let's just beat Monaco, just to try and get that automatic qualification, because it will be so important going into the latter stages of the season. Look, next thing we can talk about is, look, what kind of defence is Mikel Arteta going to deploy against Monaco? Because I don't want to see a makeshift defence anymore. Like, I don't want to see one player getting injured, then all of a sudden you're shuffling the midfield, you're shuffling the defence, you're changing it around so much that we lose key areas of the pitch that have been so important to us in recent games. Like, you're dropping Partey from number 6 back into a right back. You're shifting Timber from right back to left back. We know he can play that position, but when you're missing Gabriel, when you're missing Thomas Partey, it doesn't work. So for me, I want to see a left back play. Just change that one position. It's going to be like, will we have Gabriel for this game? Mikel Arteta come out after the Fulham game and said, we'll see. I don't know what that means. It's hard to judge Mikel Arteta. I hope Gabriel's available. If not, you'll probably just still have to play Kiwior anyway. But just keep Timber at right back. Keep Thomas Partey in midfield and just play a left back. Let me know your guys' thoughts on who you would play in that defensive line, because I think there's going to be some difference of opinion. Look, my team sheet for this game would be David Raya, Jurrien Timber at right back, Saliba, Gabriel, if he's available. If not, you probably do have to play Kiwior. Is it ideal? No. But you might be left with that as your only option. So if that is the only option, then play Kiwior. Was he great in the last game? No. He probably struggled against Fulham. Left back. Play Tierney. Play Lewis Skelly. Play whoever is available that is an out-and-out left back. Don't shuffle the whole team around. And then in midfield, you have the option of playing Thomas Partey in the 6, which is probably the one I would go for. Some of you guys might see it a little differently. You got two options. You either go for Thomas Partey, Declan Rice and Odegaard, or you go with Declan Rice, Mikel, Merino and Odegaard. Let me know your guys' thoughts. I would be happy to see either of those midfield three deployed. Look, me personally, I don't want to see Jorginho in this game. Some of you might see it differently, and if you do, let me know. And then the forward three, again, you're going to have some difference of opinion. Some people might go Martinelli. Some people might go Trossard. I, of course, look, you Saka 100%. Havertz is probably the best option. And then that left-hand side, I would go for Trossard. Maybe some of you guys would go for Martinelli. I've spoke about the frustration that's building around Martinelli in this Arsenal team at the minute. So for me, I just play Trossard. Trossard, look, he lacks pace. He lacks maybe that attacking edge where you want your winger to really get out wide and attack the byline and whip a ball in. He doesn't have that, but he's technical. He's good. And we've seen over the past couple of seasons, he does pop up with important goals. So at least you know you're getting that with Leandro Trossard. And if you get him into a position where he can get a shot on goal, he's very, very clinical. In many people's opinions, he's probably the most clinical player in the team. He certainly was for parts of last season. Maybe Bukayo Saka's going to start taking that mantle off him. But Trossard can be good in moments. And with the form of Martinelli, I find it difficult to pick Martinelli in a game like this ahead of Leandro Trossard. Like I said, that's just my opinion. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section. In terms of a score prediction, for me, at home, I'm stuck between a 2-0 or a 3-0. If we have Gabriel, I can see us keeping a clean sheet, but it's just whether Gabriel will be available. I'm going to go for a 2-0 home win against Monaco. Like I said, they're same points as us in the Champions League group. I think that would be a good enough result. And we need to keep this or start getting some momentum in the Premier League. We've got about a 5-game period now where the teams that we've got coming up in the Premier League are good teams, and it starts on the weekend against Everton. But after that, you've got a few games you're looking at and you're saying Brentford, you're seeing Ipswich, you're seeing Brighton. Again, there's some good teams in there. But Arsenal just need to get on a roll now, because it does feel like every few weeks we're having this conversation of, oh, yes, right, we're ready to go on a run now. And then there's a stutter. And then you think, right, now we need to pick ourselves back up. Let's see if we can go on another run now. And then we win a couple of games and we think, right, we're back. We win 5-1 against Sporting. And then you drop points again and you think, what is going on? Why are we not able to keep this momentum? So, you know, under the comment section of my last video, people are starting to say, you know, Mikel Arteta starts tinkering too much. He changes everything around too much. And I spoke about it after the Fulham game. You know, you've changed your defence and your midfield just to get in, just because you need change for a left back. Like, it was crazy. In hindsight, it was a bad decision. Look, I just don't want this negative conversation around Arsenal to continue. I just want us to keep or start winning some games and try and keep that momentum. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on everything you've heard in this video. Let me know your thoughts on the Arsenal versus Monaco. What is your score prediction? Thanks so much to everyone for watching and listening. Before you go, if you could do me a very quick favour, just hit like and subscribe, and I'll speak to you all in tomorrow's video. Gooners, have a good day.